Hey, it's Alex from Following Alex, and today I'm going to do a get ready with me video. I have work at 9, I have nothing done. So I'm going to get ready, and as I'm doing that, I'm going to throw out some life advice. At 25 years old, I definitely have some advice that not only did I wish I heard when I was younger, but advice that I wish I valued. And even to this day, I need to hear it, but I also need to hold value to it. So I'm going to timestamp the different topics I'm talking about in this video. If you want to ask me a question or you want me to give advice on something, comment, get in touch with me. For my skincare and beauty, I am not good at either, so correct me if you see me doing anything, and I'm only gonna link the products that are worth linking. I'll share with you what I can, and enjoy. Advice I need myself, hobbies and passions. I say this all the time to myself now. Imagine what you could have accomplished if you didn't let the opinions of others hold you back. I mean, I'm starting a YouTube channel right now. Imagine if I started, I wanted to do this in junior high, which is 10 years ago. Imagine how far along I would be if I would have started even 3 years ago. And that's not to discourage you, that's to give you a kick in the butt and be like, what am I doing? Especially if it's something that you know you're gonna end up doing eventually, why are you not doing it now? Any hobbies or passions that you enjoy, you should nourish them. If you're really passionate about something, you need to commit to that. You need to practice, start watching YouTube video tutorials, start a big project, even if you have to pick at it every day. Invest in yourself if you can. This is the biggest piece of advice. Put yourself out there. Terrifying, I know, but if you don't put yourself out there, you're not going to build this community. Once you put yourself out there, you're going to see that you are going to inspire someone. Will people make fun of you? Maybe, but that is so lame. I don't know why people make fun of people for hobbies. What does it affect you what somebody else is doing in their free time? But you know what you can feel better about? Whatever your hobby is, as long as your hobby isn't about putting people down, bullying people, or making fun of people, any of that, then you're way better off than anybody who's making comments about it. So, nurture your hobbies, respect your hobbies, and if people don't respect your hobbies, they don't respect you. I didn't realize how long it's gonna take me to get ready. Whatever path you're on, what you're looking for, what you're good at, or what you want to commit to, I mean even in a relationship, I guess, my advice is you can quit, and there's no shame in quitting. Being discouraged and having a gut feeling that this isn't for you are two very different things. You don't feel like you're making progress, or you're nervous, or you're afraid. That's not the reason to quit. But if you're doing something and, if your mental health is tanking because of it, well, quit. Don't think about it, quit. If you have that feeling, I call it an itch, I don't know, I feel it inside me saying this is not it, quit. You don't have to stick something out. Especially in a world we live in today, there are so many opportunities. You can also make a plan and prepare to quit and prepare to find what better suits you. But this comes with hobbies and stuff too. If you just want to try something and you're doing it and you're the idea of it was better than actually doing it, it's okay to admit that stuff isn't for you. And quitting doesn't always mean giving up completely. Quitting sometimes means allocating your time to something you'd rather be doing, and maybe in your spare time pick that up. I feel like there's a lot of shame in quitting, especially when people are in school. There's a lot of pressure to finish high school, go right to school, and figure out your life. At 18 years old, nobody knows what they want to do, and if you do, you are the bomb. People still say that. And I think people are recognizing that there are more opportunities. The moral of this advice is don't feel shame or pressure about quitting. Nobody knows what's best for you besides you, and deep down you know that. Sometimes we're not guiding ourselves with that best knowledge, but if you have that feeling that this isn't right, don't waste your time. You only have so much time. Think about it. Do the pros and cons. But before you quit, think about what's next. If you're gonna quit your university degree, sit down and make a list. What's next? What are my options? If you're still not sure, find a job, save some money, work. As you're getting life experience, you'll also learn what you want to do in life. let's talk about how to CYA, cover your ass. So that is the best piece of advice I received. It sounds like you're gonna bring other people down, but it's not about bringing other people down, it's about putting yourself in a position so if somebody else tries to bring you down, you have the receipts. Any promises an employer makes to you, get it in writing. And you can ask that, be like, oh, can you send that to me in an email? If you're doing a task or if something happened and you want it on record that you informed somebody, send it in an email. That email is forever, it's time-stamped. If all these emails are on an office email, forward them to your own personal email, because if anything ever happens to them because of a system error, you have them. The huge double standard about professionalism in the workplace, I think it's so hypocritical. In the workplace, they try to police stupid things like dress code. I don't want to hear it. People are perfectly fine at their job no matter what they're wearing, no matter what color their hair is, no matter their tattoos, no matter their piercings. Your visual appearance does not make you a better or worse employee. It's usually the best kept people in the suits that are the ones that are the most unprofessional. Somebody does dress code you or say something about your hair, tattoos, makeup. This is another thing to say, put that in writing. I've heard horror stories about employers telling female employees to wear makeup. Get that in writing. See how long that lasts. Make sure you are there to do your job and not to disrespect other people. It's that simple. I think being condescending is so unprofessional and so many people do it. Try not to call out a certain straight white males, but I hate that we can be told you have to change, or you can't have these tattoos or piercings, or you have to have a sensible professional hairstyle. And then you see some people come in, dominantly white men, their hair looks like they just got off the pillow, it's all a mess, nobody makes a comment. They make sexual jokes, inappropriate comments. They are disrespectful in every sense of the term, and that for some reason is not good enough to be like you are disrespecting professionalism. So be you and get everything in writing and you'll be fine. But CYA, cover your ass. Okay, let's just understand really quick that I'm about to contour and I have no idea what I'm doing. If you have tips, let me know. But remember that constructive criticism is only constructive if it is respectful. I guess that's a piece of advice. Now let's talk about friendships and the truth about growing up. And I mean, we all hear like, oh, you're gonna lose your friends, like you guys are never gonna be as close as you were when you grow up. And that sucks to hear, but it's the truest thing anyone has ever said to me. Like, you're gonna keep some friends and you're gonna keep making friends. Like, don't think it means you're never gonna have friends, but life is so busy and none of us are on the same schedule. It's really hard, but there are people that are gonna stay in your life that should be there. So now I wanna talk about how we outgrow friendships and why that's okay. So there's two ways you can outgrow people. You outgrow people because they're stuck where they're too and they're not coming with you. There's people I never thought I could live without that now I think, how was I ever in that space? That's not to be negative. There are going to be friends you lose. Not so much about outgrowing them as life is just not letting you be as close as you want to be. I have friends that I adore and I cheer them on social media. I love seeing them do good for themselves. I love when we like randomly message each other about something, but we just grew apart because life is so busy. That kind of growing apart doesn't mean that you guys are not friends anymore. It just means that the relationship has changed. Think about the people you've left behind that you're never going to speak to again. That's two very different circumstances. If you're not growing, you are stuck where you are. And if you are completely satisfied, you're probably already surrounded with people that share the same values with you, that are just as great as you. Like, you're probably doing great, which is not the case for most of us. If you have any kind of goals or passions, or you are constantly learning, Honestly, if you're watching this video right now, you're trying to grow. People are going to be left behind, and that is a good thing. You are growing, and you are choosing the person you want to become. And people are either going to respect that and want to grow with you because they're on the same path as you, or they're gonna say, no, I'm good here, and it's gonna create a negative relationship with that person, because how can you, as someone who's growing and learning and becoming, stick around someone who is just pulling you back to that level? Sometimes you just need to learn to let go. But when it comes to friends that you guys just go on different paths, you know, I think there's always the opportunity to rekindle that. It's just timing. It's not about outgrowing each other. It's about growing but going separate ways. There's a big difference. That person is still in your life. I took the liberty of doing my eyeliner. I know a lot of people struggle with being productive. I do. What's harder than being someone who has a lot of goals is being someone who has a lot of goals that can't seem to get off the couch and achieve them. This is where I started, and this is why I'm saying to do it like this. Either use your notes app, pen and paper, a sticky note, an app, and start making a habit tracker. Having a habit tracker will remind you to do something every day and to fit it into your schedule every day. And eventually, habits in your habit tracker become second nature. And then you start to build like morning and afternoon and nightly rituals. And then when you have those baseline habits, you can start adding more specific habits. Like now I start vlogging, so I have time to do this now. I'm productive enough to do this now. No habit is too basic. And also habits can be things you don't want to do. Like I used to be really bad for napping, and I think power naps are okay, but I used to come home and waste like 2 hours of sleep. I love napping. Yeah, so make a habit tracker, fill it with habits that you want to do, habits that you don't want to do. Start small, like maybe add to it every week or add to it every month, but you need to realize that productivity and growth is a long-term thing. It's not overnight, not if you want it to be sustainable. If you want to just have a really productive week, like you need to achieve something, like this week I'm filming a productive vlog and my habits are specific. If you want to do that for a week, set really strict habits. And the thing is keep learning from these habits. Learn what doesn't work for you, what you can adjust. And some of them you're always gonna have to put on your habit tracker because it's hard. Right now, I'm working full-time, but I'm also doing a master's degree. And so my bills on my master's degree kind of even out with my job, so I'm not saving a lot of money. And my advice is not gonna tell you to save, because I know a lot of us can't. Like, we can't. I can't save. I'm not saving right now. So my advice is make a monthly budget. I used to write this out in a little notebook until I became better at Excel. So I use a spreadsheet. I split up my money into bills, spending, savings. I also have like gift and emergency. So you can split it up based on what you want to save money for, and count all your money that you have and split it up. And then when you get paid, take that money and split it up into these different groups. Even if you're not saving, it's still good to do this because you'll start recognizing where the bulk of your money goes. You'll start understanding how much money you need to make to have a livable or enjoyable wage. Once you get an idea of what you're spending money on, you can start moving forward. Because if you're just spending money, you don't really know how much money you need. You don't know what you need to ask for when you're getting a job. Keep a money tracker, figure out what you're spending money on, figure out how much, figure out what has to be spent, because I know some bills we can't get rid of. Figure out what you're wasting money on, and then move forward. It's amazing what's out there, what we can learn. The more you learn about something, the more interesting it becomes. Like, there's so much to learn about, and we don't appreciate how easy it is to learn. Like, you can just watch a YouTube video. You can watch it on double playback speed like I do sometimes when you're impatient and you just want to learn something. Podcasts, books, everything. I'm saying never stop learning. Just because you're not in school, or maybe you're not actively learning, it doesn't mean you're not learning. When you're reading a book, you're learning. When you listen to a podcast, you're learning. When you're watching YouTube videos, you're learning. when you're speaking with people, when you're outside, you're learning. So you're probably saying, okay, how's this advice if I'm learning? I'm already doing it. My advice is to pay attention, take advantage of all these opportunities. Because although we're always learning, maybe we're not recognizing like how much we're learning and how much we can learn. So when you listen to that podcast, if you miss something, rewind it. Just listen to it, enjoy it. When you're reading the book, don't skim through it, read it. When you're talking to someone, be there and listen. And when you are watching videos or you are listening to podcasts or reading books, don't just listen to what's trendy. Don't listen to just the news. Look at what you're learning and what you could be learning and maybe incorporate that. Like I found my favorite new podcast, which is about trees, and you just learned about trees. It's so heartwarming and so great. And now when I'm listening to podcasts, I'm learning so much. And I think you just need to pay attention to what you're mentally consuming, because not that saying what you're listening to isn't good for you or like it's not enjoyable. All this time you're spending with this resource, with these videos, with these podcasts, with these books, you could be focusing on something that really interests you, or focusing on something you really want to learn, or learning something new. So just take advantage of that gift. I'm like ready. Obviously I'm going to wear something different to work. So thanks for getting ready with me. I would love to do more. It's a good way to spend my time because I'm getting ready while vlogging. But as you can see, I'm really bad at doing two things at once. But I will get better the more I do it, that's for sure. So if you like this video, feel free to leave a comment and subscribe to me. It would be great if people ask me questions or ask me to talk about things, because I'm making these videos for other people to watch. They are for myself. I mean, I learned a lot today. I thought about some of the things that I've learned and some of the things I need to pay more attention to, but it would be great if I could get some constructive criticism or just help my viewers, because I have a couple. Thank you for getting ready with me today, and I don't know, see you next video.